Alright, so first ride at the trail. On the way here, I realized the bike didn't want to bunny hop last night. I raised the stem up even higher, flipped the stem upside down, so now I have a rise instead of a negative rise. So I have more leverage, hopefully. And I had to keep raising up the dropper on the way to here on the Ragley. This was my height. I have to raise it up like this. So this is a 170 dropper. I could totally fit a 200 with room to spare on this bike. And this is on a size medium. Gonna ride it, see how it goes. So riding on the local trail here. While riding to the trail, I had to keep adjusting the cockpit. After I made those adjustments, I just did a couple of bunny hops out at the trailhead and bunny hopped as good as my Ragley. So first issue resolved. Second thing I noticed while riding is how quiet this bike is. You actually, like when you have the aluminum frame bikes, the knobby side knobs or the center knobs when you're riding on asphalt does buzz the frame a little. And the steel frame actually mutes it. So all I hear is tire, but not buzzing. So far, that's the main difference I've noticed in terms of compliance versus the Ragley. The bigger hits seems to feel about the same, you know, which is a testament to how good of riding frame the Ragley was. Let's see. Time to ride more. Feels good over there on this bike.
I would like to add that this steel frame is very lively. It's different than the Norco Torrent steel hardtail that I've ridden, where that bike felt dead and muted.
PlayStation's closed. So let's see the smaller one. Woo. Barely made that one. Oh, no speed. But anyways, back to as I was commenting. That super slack feeling on my initial impression was because I didn't have my cockpit dialed. I set everything up like the Big Al, and now it rides and feels like the Big Al. Doesn't feel as slack, doesn't feel as in. After I raise the seat up to the proper height, very normal feeling now compared to before. There should be enough speed to clear this. Oh, that felt nice. This thing jumped good. Round two. This thing pumps so good. Oh my god, I almost went off the berm. I got so much speed on that one. Yo, there's definitely a springiness to this bike. Drop the flat. Oh, okay, I guess for a hardtail it's not too bad. Going across the jet line. See how it feels. Dropping. Don't break, don't break. Ah, damn it, off by a little. Damn it, that berm scares the shit out of me.
The berm was really dry today and just felt really loose. After riding more pump sections, I realized that it's not the springiness of the frame, but more of the short chain stays that's helping this thing pump so good.
Alright YouTubes, so here is another test for this bike. I'm at Graham Hill County Park, one of the biggest climbs techiest climbs, techiest downs, along with the skill area jump park right there. See how it goes. The last ride at Cunningham Park ended with a monster pinch flat. Even with inserts, I had to plug here and plug here. Hopefully the plug's repair holds up. See how it goes on this one. I will comment on how well this thing climbs, because that's my main concern, how well this thing jumps, how well this thing climbs. So far this thing jumps awesome. Time for the climbing test now. About this mountain, typically it's around, I don't know, I usually get about 1,000 feet of elevation whenever I run here, and I'll make some commentaries on how this thing does. Go. Oh yeah, so easy to bunny hop now again. All right, 926. Can't even see the trails that well. Ooh, slippery. Oh yeah, still very slippery. Let's hope the rest of the way up isn't like this, or the way down isn't like this, because it's treacherous. Maybe I'll take it easy on Red Trail, depending on how the conditions are. I am about to hop on Red Trail. Thoughts on climbing now that I've actually made it to the top. I found the route. Is that this bike, you can totally feel the weight. I am in the 51 tooth constantly climbing up here, but you are a lot less critical of line choice when you're just climbing up through all these rocks and roots. When I have the Big Al, well, I can climb faster in a smaller gear. I have to be really picky with my lines due to the front wheel very easily becoming unweighted compared to this bike, relatively speaking. With the cockpit being so short when you're in a climbing position with the 77.5 seat angle, I can pretty much ride this up the rocks like a full suspension bike. I am actually pedaling mostly sat down on this bike versus standing up and being dynamic like on a Nuke Proof Scout or on the Ragley Big Al. So this really is kind of like a sled climber where you just sit down and pedal. While it's less technical to do, it's actually harder, like physically, because of the weight of the bike, but you're less like engaged. That's it for now. I'm gonna try doing the Red Trail now after I recover from the climb. All right, Red Trail in really, really treacherous conditions. I actually bypassed a lot of the side hits on the way up due to how leafy and how slick everything is. So I might roll down some of the features that I normally would send. So we'll see. Red Trail. I have no faith in how much grip I have with these conditions today. Where the hell is the drop? I can't even see it. Oh, that's the bypass. No, it's over here. What the freak? I can't tell where anything is. All right, I'm gonna restart. I couldn't tell where anything was, but it's so scary with the conditions the way they are today. Ooh. That felt okay. It's so slippery. Oh my God, it's off camber. It's slippery. I can barely make out where the trail is. Ooh. I know I gotta pedal fast over here. Shit. Oh my God, trail exposure. Ooh. It's so slippery. Oh my God. Man, I'm doing this so slow. Didn't even have any momentum to even not make this climb. I actually couldn't even make it up this part. Okay, should have enough run up now. Put the seat back down, put it in a faster gear. I can't see shit. Oh God. Oh my God, I almost went off the side of the cliff. I better dial it back even more. Whoa. This is what I did this climb for the acceleration. Where's the rest of the trail? There we go. Oh, couldn't even snake through those two rocks. Oh, almost went off the trail on that one. And I did go off the trail on this one. There was a puddle there. Man, it's sketchy today. It's not the bike's fault. Bike actually feels more confident setting off those little drops than the Ragley, even if it's ever so slightly. I'm not trying that skinny today. Not in these conditions. God, everything is so slippery. All right, time to go to the skills area. It's gonna take me 15 minutes to get there though. That was an experience, that red trail, getting lost coming back. Couldn't see any trails. Going backwards and everything. But here's the second part of the test today. Here it is at the jump line. See how this jumps at bike park style jumps. I think it's gonna be promising with the short chainstays. So what are my thoughts on the bike after putting it through the ringer for these 2 days? I can say that the bike is better than I expected. I did not expect it to climb as well as it did. I sure as hell didn't expect the thing to just monster truck through the climbs. Sat down, which is crazy for a hardtail if you ask me. There is good frame compliance, but in all honesty, I couldn't really tell the difference between this and the Ragley in terms of the big hits and the big drops to flat. So at this point, I'm basically paying a penalty for having a steel frame in the weight department and not really gaining any ride compliance benefits. But I do know aluminum frames do fatigue over time, so this frame in theory should last me a lot longer, especially with the way I ride and the places that I like to ride. The one really weird thing that I can't get along with yet, but maybe with more saddle time, is the way this thing corners. I mean, the wheelbase on the chainstay is so short. It's 417. I just feel like I'm way in the back of the bike. I'm not like centered, so I don't trust the grip. But that could just be because if you look at the videos, the leaves are all over the place and the berms are dry and the pump on the jump line. So I gotta give it more time. But it just feels really awkward to corner this thing with such a short chainstay in terms of the weight distribution. Not the leaning. I'm used to riding slack bikes. It's just that short chainstay is throwing me off. And while I love the way the shape of the frame is with the straight, slim tubes and good proportions, not in love with the color. I honestly thought it would be a lot more purple. Oh my God.
You know, I was expecting kind of to this be a better bike than the Ragley Big Al, and in many ways it is.
So weird.
But the color, you know, is so important to me. Just this purple is nowhere near as nice. It's heavier, but it doesn't really ride any better either. I'll see how this thing handles the bike park when the summertime or the springtime comes. Thanks for actually watching through the whole video. See you in the next one. Bye.
now. Yeah, it jumps about the same.